So today I'll be talking about crafting a sustainable career in the medical and health sciences. Before I go on to the RAK medical and health sciences, the programs, etc., I would just like to take you through a little about career planning. So you know that you need to plan. Planning is everything. Just having plans is not enough. You would agree with me that you need to plan. Very rightly said by Dwight Eisenhower. We need to plan, and get into the process of planning. So if you want to start crafting a career, you need to start with career planning itself. Mainly would be to know your values, your skills, learn about yourself first, be aware of your personality, your attitude. I'll be touching on these points later as well. You also need to research some career options, look around what is available and link them to your values, your skills, your personality. Make sure that it's a good blend. Only then you're going to make the right choice and then you will be able to be successful and sustain your career. So some steps in selecting a study program would be, first, like I said, introspection. You need to know what you have a passion for. So what are your skills, what are your abilities, your personality? You can get this done through aptitude testing. Find out about yourself first. Then you need to know what is your preferred field. There are students who normally, after grade 12, they say, oh, I haven't really thought about it. But you should have. If you haven't, do it today. Do it tonight. Try to put down what is your preferred field. Because dilly-dallying here and there is not really going to help you. So you need to know, to plan your career path, what is the kind of degree that you want. An associate's degree, an undergraduate degree, do you hope to do a post-graduation or a doctorate? All depends on what you're currently right now. Even if you're an undergraduate, planning for your post-graduation. So it's always upgrading yourself and trying to build up. The next thing you need to do is to prioritize your work preferences. Where would you like to work? What kind of a role would you like to play in an organization for the community? Or in a big organization, a small one? What kind of industry? Would it be in an office or would it be outdoors? So what is the kind of work preference that you have? The next thing for you to do would be just to make a preliminary career decision and make a plan of action as to what you would like to do. Because when you discuss this with a mentor or a counselor, you need to have something in mind. Because if you go there and you say, I'm totally confused, I don't know what to do, and you're not done your homework and background research, then it would be a little difficult for you to discuss with someone else. So try to get these things clear and then discuss it with maybe a family member, a mentor, a career counselor, and then finally make the decision. Now, after you make the decision and you have chosen what career path you want to take, what specific field or which program you want to join, make sure that you do a short internship or some part-time voluntary work, some community service, something which is related to the field so that you get a feel of it and you actually start enjoying what you're doing. Personality is very important because you need to have a specific kind of personality with a combination of certain traits which will help you to do well in certain fields. So there's this test called the Collins test. You probably heard of it. It gives you these Collins codes where you get a combination of these 6 areas which are specific to certain traits, as you can see in the picture there. So for the medical and health sciences, probably having a high score for investigative or social or realistic might help a lot more than the others. So once you know this, then it becomes a lot easier for you to know where your personality and career plans work together. So I'd like to give you a checklist when getting into this process of career planning. So the first thing, what I would advise everyone is to start early. You must start early. Don't wait for the last minute or you'll miss the bus. Okay, now you don't miss that bus, right? So start early, start planning early. I know of students who already knew what they want to become as a professional when they were in grade 7 and 8. They already said, like there was a student who said, I want to become a cardio surgeon at grade 7. And today she is one. This was many years ago when I was working in schools. And this is amazing because she already was so sure about it and she started planning at that young age. Now, even if you haven't started planning that early, like I said before, you can start tonight. Sit down and put down what you want to do. The next thing you need to do is not just knowing that I have a good ability for this or my interest is that, but if you do a psychometric test to find out your aptitude for certain areas, say like for numerical ability or spatial ability, or it could be mechanical reasoning. Okay, so you have these sub-tests there. So all of these come together as a battery of tests. So if you do an aptitude test, you could also do an interest test to find out where your interest actually lies, and together with a personality test. So you put these together, and then you are able to understand as to what material you are for a particular career. So then you can match the two. You would also need to explore study programs, careers, prospects, like President just said, that there's no dearth of career opportunities. There's a lot out there, but it's very easy to say, oh, there's nothing out there for me. But there is, and you just need to explore. You have everything on Google, so you just one click and you know that there are so many options. So start exploring it, research, and find out what is that you have your passion for. Make sure you discuss with your parents amicably. I'm sure the parents out there can be really happy to hear this, because sometimes because of lack of communication, you might not really be able to decide amicably about where you're going to study, how your finances placed. Are you looking for a scholarship? Are you looking to relocate, or you need accommodation if you're traveling away from home, and your visa requirements? All of these things need to be discussed amicably. It should not result in a fight where you're not talking for days just because your parents don't agree with you or your children don't agree with parents. Try to do this amicably because it's a matter of a lifetime. Then the next step would be where applicable, if you have to do entrance exams or some universities have interviews that you conduct, prepare for this in advance and be sure that you have the deadlines, the dates ready. So you need to know that this is the admission deadline for this particular university. You need to stay alert for these, because if you miss the deadline, then your application might not be accepted. And at the end of it, you need to make an informed career choice, because making an informed career choice will ensure that you can sustain in that particular career. So I have a few bits of advice to give you about sustaining a career. First of all, be it right from the start. You have to be determined. There are so many young people out there who I know have taken up certain careers, and then sometimes 1 or 2 months into the program, they decide that it's not for them, and they made a wrong choice. It wasn't an informed choice. Okay? And then they just don't want to follow through with it. But if you make an informed career choice and you're determined to sustain your career, then you will make sure that you will reach that pinnacle that you really wanted to reach. Follow your passion. Anything that's done without passion, it's not really going to make you feel good about doing. Because a career is not just a job. Although we use the words career and job synonymously, they're actually different. Okay? So a career is something which is a part of your life. It's not just a job that gives you money, okay, that sustains your family just as a means of sustenance. It becomes a part of your life. So all your life you're going to merge that career with yourself, with your living, with your lifestyle, with your relationships with people. It's all going to come out through that way, even your interaction with the community. Okay? So follow your passion. Glamour. Okay. This is something which I often face with students. Is when they're in school, normally they say, I want to be a pilot because wow, I love the uniform. But there's a lot more to just wearing a uniform and or into the health sciences. There are some youngsters at grade 12. They say, I always wanted to be a nurse because my mother's a nurse. And when they get there, they say, I thought that nurses just give drips and injections. I didn't know we had to do all the other things. So, Be prepared, know what you're getting into, just don't go by the glamour. Follow your passion, because your passion will get all these people alive. The glamour can fade. Remember that learning is a lifelong process. All your life, you will keep learning. You have to upgrade yourself. There's so many things happening around us, and every day there's something new coming up. So be in touch with it and keep learning. Be flexible and enjoy what you do. Ms. Sudha mentioned this at the beginning of the session. You need to be flexible because there will be ups and downs. You know, getting into a career is not a straight line. There will be ups and downs, but you just need to enjoy what you do. And chillax, don't stress. There's so many kids out there who stress about not getting admission here, or they're not sure about what they're going to do, and they start stressing out. So just remember that we all have problems. Okay, everyone runs into problems, but every problem has a solution. Okay, and please do remember this one thing. This is a take-home message for you: is that you are more important than the problem. So you are important, and you have all the possibilities, people around you to support you to get through that stressful time. So you never feel that you don't have anyone. Talk to someone, be confidential, and take care of yourself. So choosing the right career path is important, but remember that it's not a straight line. There always will be ups and downs. So now moving on to healthcare. Let's look at a few advantages of a career in healthcare. Since I'm representing a medical and health science university, I'd like to talk about the advantages of healthcare. So this is a global need, okay, throughout the world, especially during the COVID crisis. We find a growing need for people in the healthcare services. It's a perennial need, not just globally, but perennial throughout the year. You'll find that you are needed. There's a growing demand for the careers in healthcare, and there's a lifelong demand. So there will always be need for someone in the healthcare. And there's a constant increase in avenues in healthcare. There is so much happening out there. There are lots of opportunities, and I will be showing you some of them on the next slides. So remember, you choose a job that you love, and you will never have to work a day in your life. And I can be proud to say that I'm doing that. I'm really happy with what I'm doing because I followed my passion and I'm enjoying what I'm doing right now with you. Okay. So let's move on to the programs that are offered at RAK Colleges. We have 4 undergraduate programs and we have 2 master's programs. So let's take a look at the details. So in the MBBS, which is the Bachelor of Medicine and Bachelor of Surgery, we have the RAK College of Medical Sciences, and this is a 5-year program with 1 year of internship, and it's broken up into 2 and 3 years. The 2 years consist of pre-clerkship courses, so we have the integrated curriculum, and then we have 3 years of clinical clerkship courses. And all our programs are accredited by the CAA, which is the Commission of Academic Accreditation, and the Ministry of Education in UAE. And the MBBS program is listed in the World Directory of Medical Schools. You can check the website of WDONS and you'll find our college listed there. And we come to the RAK College of Dental Sciences. It's a 5-year program with 1 year of internship, and it's accredited similarly. And the Pharm, the Bachelor of Pharmacy, is the RAK College of Pharmaceutical Sciences. It's a 4-year program, and it includes practice school training in industry, community, and hospitals. So we get good practice there. This is also accredited. And we have the RAK College of Nursing, which has 2 programs, a 4-year program in BSN and a 2-year program in RNBSN, that is for registered nurses. These programs are also accredited. Then we have 2 postgraduate programs, which is one in Masters in Pharmacy. It's a 2-year program, Masters in Nursing, which is a 2-year program, and these are also accredited. So now, like I mentioned before, you want to know about scholarships that are offered around. So let's take a look at the scholarships. Basically, over here it's similar for the MBBS, the BDS, and the Pharm program. Based on your grade 12 marks, which are 95% and above, or it's between 90 to 94%, you have various percentages of concession. But for the MBBS and BDS, it's only for the first year of study, whereas for the Pharm, it's first semester of study. Okay? And continually through the years, you can also avail of a scholarship if you have the required GPA of 3.8. So you get 15% concession. That would apply to the following year or the following semester accordingly. what is it that you can do after you graduate as a doctor? Okay, so you have various options. You can take up a job, so you work at a primary health center, or you can upgrade and do your PG and become a specialist or a consultant, or you can do clinical research. Now, these are some of specialist categories over here. They're listed alphabetically. So you just take a look at this, and there's something that catches your eye. Okay, if you're interested in, these are the categories for specialists. Right? Now, for post-graduation options, this is all that you can do besides doing your MD and or doing your PhD in certain specified fields that you would like. There are various other post-graduation options as listed over here. Now, after BDS, after you become a dentist, then what can you do? You can practice as a dentist, be a consultant, get into research, cosmetology, or you could get into various other fields. It's not just a fixed area that you work in. You have a lot of options. Similarly, with post-graduation, you can do your master's, you can do your PhD in various areas, and you can see here a list of specializations. This list is not exhaustive. There's a lot more online. You can check it out. And we move on to the Pharmacy College. So after you graduate from Pharm, options would be in Pharmaceutical Industry. So it's not just restricted to working in a pharmacy, but there are marketing jobs, laboratory jobs, quality control, research and development. Also working in a pharmacy, you could work as a military pharmacist, clinical pharmacist, open your own pharmacy, or even government organizations where you need pharmacists and related careers. Then in the healthcare industry, and also in universities and colleges. Okay? And then you also do your post-graduation, which increases your chances of getting a better job. Like for example, in a university or college, if you do your PhD, you can work there too. But immediately after being found, maybe you can get in as a teaching assistant. So it's important for you to upgrade yourself. So you have a whole variety of research, hospital, or industry. So now moving on to nursing. After you graduate with a nursing degree, then what do you do? There are so many options, and again, this list is not exhaustive. There's a lot more. It's not limited just to this. But you can also do post-graduation in various fields. And like I mentioned before, we have post-graduation in pharmacy as well as in nursing at our university. So if you graduate, you can also continue with your post-graduation. And global post-graduation and career opportunities, if you look at this list, it's again not an exhaustive list. Besides the United Arab Emirates, there are many countries that you could avail of for post-graduation, but you'll have to clear a language test and you'll have to meet with the required licensing requirements. Alright. Just a glance at the employment status of RAK registered graduates to give you an idea as to how many of them are actually using their degrees and are employed out there. So this is an employment status of our medical graduates as general practitioners as well as specialists, and these are the percentage of our students who are in residency programs abroad as well as in the UAE, and also those who are appearing directly for international licensing exams. This is the employment status of our dental graduates. This is the employment status of our pharmacy graduates and postgraduates. Nursing graduates and postgraduates, as you can see that they're usually 100% they recruited, and most of them in the UAE and some of them outside the UAE. So let's take a very brief look at employment in healthcare in the UAE. The options, just to give you an idea, I have circled those totals down there. You can see it at the bottom of the slide. Yellow is for nursing, green is for pharmacy, blue is for dental, and red is for medical. So this is in the Emirate of Dubai. This was 2018, and this is again in the medical private sector. Again, you can see the totals. You find a lot of nurses are employed more than the doctors. And I have another one slide left for you about the statistics for Abu Dhabi, about the availability of jobs, and these are medical specialists, so you can see a whole range of these specialists. So there are lots of specialties that you could look forward to. I'd like to leave you with some of our details. These are my details. You can contact me. That's a WhatsApp number, my email ID, and my Instagram ID. And we also have the details here of the admissions office and the Instagram handle, as well as the website. So
please do contact us. So don't just do your best, be your best. Okay? Thank you so much, Science in the Forum, for this opportunity. And thank you for your attention.